Good morning. It's Wednesday morning and it's Wednesday Wisdom on Women of Light Facebook group, and you might be watching on YouTube as well. So if you are, we'd love for you to join us and hit the subscribe button, because we're going to be putting more and more on there as well. We are with the beautiful Margit here, and Margit and I are long-term friends. We've known each other for a very long time when I lived up in far north Queensland. Her husband's almost, well, he's a brother to another mother. So, Andre and I have known each other. I think he was one of the first people I met in up in far north Queensland. So we've known each other for a very long time. And so I've known Margit as long as she's been in Australia, and connected really, straight away. It was such a beautiful connection. And Margit's just got so many different aspects of who she is. There's so much intricacy to you, in that you have so much magic in you. Like there's so much, your artwork, your healing work, your ability to, we were just talking about how you're starting, you're one of a group of people starting a Steiner school up in Port Douglas. So, there's so much, and you've, got a daughter and a stepdaughter, and all of these things that are happening in your life, So tell us a little bit about you and your journey. We're talking about the healing journey. So tell us a little bit about, you were just saying it was challenging growing up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So good morning, first of all, everyone. I'm very happy to see you, Elizabeth. It's like family gathering,
Yeah.
We felt straight away the connection, and I even know you a little bit way before we met in person, because Andre talked a lot about you, and it's like sisters coming back together.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So where I'm coming from, maybe people are saying, oh, where's your exotic accent coming from? So I'm originally from Austria, and yes, destiny brought me to Australia. And when I was growing up in Austria, I was, let's say it was a very magical environment the first 6 years. So my family had a farm, and they lived a little bit, let's say it, up the hill, and it was a magical place. We had also a little church in the backyard, let's say it that way, that we had to look after. And I loved being in the gardens. So when Margit was missing, she's out in the garden watering the plants. I have so many photos of my childhood, me with a little watering can. So plants, herbs, everything like nature was really a big part of my life, and I just loved it. And when I was growing up, I was the only child for a while with that age. So I had a fair bit of not lonely time, but alone time outside. And I just, I had my friends out there. So I was very aware of the, let's say it, nature elementals, fairies, call them elves. I could feel them. I could also feel the angels, but I couldn't see them. So I pretty much was listening a lot. So I loved the different sounds of birds. I loved the water. We had a little creek running, and I was sleeping in with that water and waking up with that water. So nature, sounds, smells, this was part of my growing up journey. Yeah. And then when I was 6, it was time to go to school. We moved down in a different village where my school was. So that was a big shift for me, because, getting out of such a sacred place, I really have to say, was a bit interesting the first year, because also my hearing was very sensitive and I didn't like noise. I could hardly handle, you know, huge groups of people making noise, crying, children. Oh, that was a really journey the first few months actually to settle into that school, because it felt so different.
Mm-hmm. Especially after being, in that space of being alone with elementals and nature, right?
Yeah.
So to all of a sudden be thrust into society, it can be challenging.
Yeah, it was very much, yes. But I got over this, and you know, it was a bit sad during the school time. My sensibility, or I see it as a big strength now. My sensibility to tune in and to maybe hear different things, have this inner hearing, that was seen as a weakness by my teacher, especially after the primary school. And I always had the feeling I want to be a translator. I want to learn lots of languages. I want to communicate. I want to connect people. I want to understand people, and I want to help them to understand each other. And it was part of, I wanted to go to a certain school. And my teacher at this time, she said, "Oh, Margit is beautiful. She's a great student, but I think her sensibility would just challenge her too much. You know, when she's not getting grade A's all the time, she might be very sad, and it might be too much for her." And that, you know, inside of me, everything was screaming, crying out, and I tried to explain to my parents, this is what I want to do. But they said, you know, we don't do the best for you. You just keep it slow. Oh well, we found different ways.
Yeah.
Where we have to go.
And so when you were in Austria, you know, when we first met, or before you came over, you were actually working in the corporate field, weren't you?
Oh yes, I was about over 25 years I worked for the Chamber of Commerce, so I was very much involved, and I loved helping people to live their dream, actually. So this is it's part of the business community in Austria, that you are part of the Chamber of Commerce when you start a business. So you get there the support, or legal things, name it. You know, you have a business, you know what everything is involved, from marketing tips till how to make your final balance at the end of the year. So I had a business women circle the last years before I left in Austria, and it was amazing, you know, to help connect people, especially women, and support them by living their dreams. And I always try to make a difference, because for me it was so important that we understand we are dealing with people in business. I'm sort of a little bit allergic to numbers. I said, yeah, numbers are important, but it's the people. We're making business with people.
Yeah.
And if you can't connect with each other, if you can't create a relationship, there is failure.
Yeah.
Very interesting to see, you know, after years of doing this, you get a feeling for people, you know, when they're coming in, telling their story and saying, yeah, this is my idea and this is why I want to do it. But for a few people, I saw already, oh my God, there is a best you state on their forehead. You know, you will be out of your business in a year or max 2, because it's not your passion. It's not what you really want to do. It's what you copy because your neighbor is running a coffee shop and that works well. But it's
It's really beautiful when you can combine intuition, spirituality, and business together, because it just works so much more effectively when you're in flow. So to have those two elements, and I know that that's, you know, I would say we haven't had much time to talk about what's going on with the Steiner School, but I can assume that your that ability to hold the space of both of them has been instrumental in part of, you know, that program that you're setting up up there, you know, being able to walk on both sides.
Definitely. And, you know, we need to let things grow. This is so important. We can't rush things. Okay, if you write every week to whatever the office that is setting up some blockades for you, yeah, it might work. But also if you sit back and praise and just wait and trust, because we need to believe way more. We need to believe that what we are trusting in is coming through, and just wait. There is a perfect and divine plan, and it's already set up. When otherwise we wouldn't have come so far, for example, just for this thing.
And as we were talking before we even got on, you know, one of the things about like growth is the seed of the tree, you know, like the seed of a massive tree is not doesn't go from seed to massive tree in 2 days, right? It goes seed, it's got to break, it's got to open up into the earth, it's got to become a little sapling, it's, you know, all of these different parts before it becomes the tree that then bears the fruit that then, you know, like creates more seeds.
And we need to understand that there is an environment as well. You know, you don't have everyday sunshine. You have sometimes a lot of water, then you need to deal with that. And then there is something, you know, trying to nibble your little leaves. So you also have to deal with that. It's here on planet Earth, I think it's really hard to create the perfect environment, because Creator knows how the perfect environment looks like.
Yes.
Little challenges, because otherwise we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, and that's right, because our mind is constantly trying to figure out how to do it. But when you let go just believe in the dream and focus on that and nothing else, then that's when the magic happens.
And that's my next mantra, you know, I'm get out of your head, come home, here's your heart. It's again, it nearly fits every day somewhere. I have to tell people, you know, get out of your head, try at least to get out of your head. And when they can't, this is the next magic. I try to help them with my with my spiritual work. And
so let's talk a little bit about your spiritual work, because I know that your spiritual, you know, the expression comes out in various different ways, from singing, you've got an amazing voice, to painting, you know, the painting behind you is one of your pieces, to energy work that you do with oils and without oils, I'm assuming, as well. So, you know, let's talk about that. How do you express, you know, you just allow it to come through, obviously, right?
Exactly. I started thinking about what I'm doing, and then more I really let go and believe in, because I can't explain it and I don't want to anymore. So people are really finding me at the moment. They are willing to go with me on a journey. I said, I know it will be totally tailored for you, but I can't give you the plan, because the plan is somewhere else. And actually you coming with that plan, because I'm reading your book. I'm allowed maybe to read, I call it always the book of life you have written already up somewhere else. And I find that people finding me in times of their life where they're really either stuck in a corner, or they have to maybe choose between different pathways, and they are very important pathways. And it's really more about giving them the chance to have this sacred space, get out of their head, have it. I always call it, get a rendezvous with yourself. And I'm turning a page, maybe that we can go together to your next chapter, and then you read your own story and off you go. We shift a few things. Sometimes we are able to, and I'm getting very humble about, you know, tuning in about a few people we had here lately. It was really rewriting whole concepts of mother love, of self-love. And it's unbelievable what people are carrying with them, and they can't get out of it without support.
It's crazy. It's crazy, isn't it? What people are carrying. Yeah.
Yeah. So just a little example. I had a man here not long ago, and he's nearly about to retire. So he's in his 60s. And he said, or his wife said, you have to do something. He is a workaholic. He's not a normal workaholic. He works 200%. I said, okay, we need to find out the roots, because I love to dig out the roots. It's not just, you know, massaging a little bit on the top. We need to dig out these roots, where it's coming from. And we went in his session really deep down, and yeah, there was a lot of issues with his mother. And how I felt, he was never able to have a childhood where he can sit back, you know, nourish his inner child. He was a very creative person. But if you want to be creative, you need this quiet time just to sit back, reflect, think about your ideas, maybe write them down, tune in. He was never allowed to do that. His mother always said, when he came home from school, okay, here's your food, and then go out in the garden, do this, do that, do that. He was always pushed into doing something.
And becomes conditioned in, doesn't it? Yeah.
Couldn't stop till now. And his self-worth was, when I'm doing nothing, I'm nothing worth. And you know, to shift something over 60 years.
Yeah. And so you use oils in that process as well?
I use oils in that process, and I have learned a few techniques, like mentioned, it's called Raindrop technique or emotional clearing technique. But then more I tune into myself, I really get very intuitive by choosing the oils. And yeah, I think I mentioned my own searching journey, you know, who I am, started probably in my early 20s, when I just wanted, I had enough. I said, I want to know, you know, where I'm fitting in. I fit in nowhere. So let's find out who I really am. And then, you know, my journey started. I had so many different courses that I went to. We don't want to start making up this list, but now it all makes sense. Of over time, you just pick out the essence of certain things, and you use it when you need it, or it is a combination of something that you have learned, and it will be, you know, you rearrange, you reinvent something new on a different level with different frequencies. And so whatever I have done, from sound healing to oils, to call it Reiki, call it quantum healing, call it whatever, it comes together. But at the end of the day, I'm simple and easy a tool. And when I work with people, I simple and easy connect with the highest that I can connect to, and with my big group of helpers, I call them, and the group is getting bigger and bigger, and I simple and easy trust. It's like when I start a session, I put on a helmet or a tube, and it's just coming through. And we have to hold on, the client and myself, because when we are finished, sometimes there are no words. We can't describe what we just have done, how we feel. And it's simple and easy a space where you just be humble.
It's so true, isn't it? It's such a pleasure to be living.
Yeah, to be.
It's such a pleasure to be living, and regardless of what's going on, when you can really connect into who we truly are on those higher realms, and recognize that it's a privilege that we're here. We let go of all of the fear and just, you know, sit in the beauty of it.
And I think it's about a job that we have taken on to be here at this time, to deal with the that is out there. You know, you can either if someone builds a wall in front of you, you can sit on the bottom of the wall and cry your tears and say, I can't look over it. Or you can be inventive, create an elevator, dream big that you can over it, raise it's, or find a tree, plant a tree, the tree might grow, then you can climb over. It's about finding solutions and really setting up our children as well to be finding solutions instead of, oh, someone will do it for me. I better sit down and cry a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Cry. Yeah. My girls cry. They get a big hug, and then we sit down and say, okay, what can we do when you have the tummy ache? What are you doing? You can cry, or what can we do? Okay, I get my oils. I get some. And then they do. It's about helping them to find help. When you reach out, you will get help. But wait till someone is doing it for you. Now, I'm not on this path. So my girls really have to use the tools they're getting.
Yes.
Use them, then more tools you will have available.
Yeah.
And you see the bigger picture, because you're not the poor me.
Yeah, and it's so important that we remember this at the moment with our children, you know, the future. Yeah. That they're looking for the positive, and they're moving into solutions and being creative rather than, you know, looking at their problems and focusing on the victim. Yeah. Being a
team people, team players, rather than, you know, I have to be better than you. We are all here to connect our gifts. We have to dive deep to, you know, find our germs. That's my next passion, you know, to dive into these hidden treasures that everyone has, and, you know, brush this dust away where people are saying, I have been creative in my childhood, but, you know, it was not good enough. It's so beautiful to undust this and let people live their dreams and find what they're really here for.
So true. And right now, that's what I'm experiencing, is that whole thing of, you know, there's so many people that are being weighed down with what's going on in the world, right? And yet there's this divide of all these people that are seeing the beauty, like seeing the opportunity for expression and moving into more of their true purpose and their, you know, their nature, their true nature. So Margit, if women wanted to get in contact with you, you can do, well, actually I know, because I did it, you can do healing over anywhere, because you gifted me a beautiful healing session, which was lovely. So if people want to get in contact with you, Margit, how, first of all, they can get onto you via Facebook, right?
Yes. And have mercy with me, because having, you know, a 25-hour day.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not a lot on Facebook, but again, I use the tools with my intuition. There are some days I can't open Facebook because I feel nauseous. I get headache, and said, okay, you better stay away. There's lots going on. Maybe not my vibe today. But if I know there is, or if I feel there's something coming in from a friend, or something that I need to, whatever, answer to, I get exactly that input and I open it, and here we go. Here's the message I need to read, and here's the option I can pass on something. Intuition is everything. Trust your feelings, sharpen your senses. Then you can use all these tools without getting, you know, sucked into it. We love techniques when they work, and when they're not taking all of the time. So I really have my family around a lot. So my little girl is 5 now. She never been to daycare. So I'm daycare 20 hours a day as well, if needed. So I have to be wise with my time. So it's great. Email is great. And like we said today, earlier, I loved offering now this distance aroma bliss, or whatever we call it. Yeah. And I found it actually getting more and more precise, and it doesn't matter if I have the person here in reality. It's great to have someone experience the power and the the healing abilities and the helpful abilities of the oils to really relax and sink into yourself. But I can set people up wherever they are, on their private bedroom, on your lounge, whatever you want to do. And then I simply and easy tune in and give feedback after. And it's just amazing. We meet in a different space. There is no distance. You know, my family is in Europe. I still feel every moment when I need to call my mom. Sometimes I can't call her for a couple of days, but I know exactly, oh, today we need to give her a call.
Yeah.
Trust, you are never alone, and you are always connected with when you
so true.
Your home. Yeah.
And just as a side note, I know that a lot of the women on here have come from that area, from Cairns and all the, you know, Atherton Tablelands and all those areas. So if anyone wants to experience what Margit has to offer, then get in contact with her and maybe go and do a face-to-face session with her as well, because thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on and for sharing your wisdom for us on Wednesday Wisdom. It's been a pleasure, and we because I live down here and you up there, we don't get to see each other as much. And I know you've been so full on with the Steiner School and everything, and congratulations on that, by the way, because you know, that's a big effort to start up a school, and it's beautiful.
Of a big group, but again, the children, I see our children as our future, and we need to create this environment. If we want them to thrive, we need to create this environment where they are thriving, at home, at playgroup, wherever you are. But you need to do your part. You just can't wait till someone else is doing it for you. If you want to, you know, have them living to their highest potential, you need to help them create this environment.
Yeah. Absolutely true. I love that wisdom to finish off. Take care. Thank you everyone for watching. Put #replay if you have been watching it as a replay, and looking forward to catching up again soon. See ya.
Bye bye, sister.